With renewed clarity, great civilizations blossomed across the world. Egypt rose along the Nile, its pyramids ascending like colossal prayers carved in stone. Sumer built ziggurats, great spiraling towers reaching toward the heavens. Babylon mastered law. China mastered harmony. India mastered philosophy. Greece mastered inquiry. Each civilization carried a fragment of wisdom, a unique reflection of the universal light guiding all of humanity. Caravans crossed vast deserts, laden not just with spices and silk, but with stories. Sailors ventured across distant seas, guided by the very stars their ancestors once feared. Ideas traveled from kingdom to kingdom. Mathematics, astronomy, medicine, poetry. Humanity became connected, not just by roads of sand and sea, but by highways of knowledge. Civilization grew not through isolation, but through exchange. And then, a miracle of civilization emerged. Writing, symbols carved into clay became laws. Ink brushed onto scrolls became memory. Words etched onto stone became legacies. Writing allowed humanity to speak across centuries. The present gained a voice that could reach the future. The dead could teach the living. Knowledge could finally survive the frailty of human breath. But knowledge is not always mercy. Some used it to heal recording remedies, studying stars, and mapping rivers. Others used it to dominate, forging systems of oppression, hoarding education, and controlling the truth. Writing became a lamp that could guide, or a tool that could blind. The balance trembled between wisdom and arrogance. And so there were ages when humanity forgot again. Empires grew drunk with pride, enslaving their own people. Kings declared themselves divine. Nations worshipped wealth. War replaced wonder. Libraries burned. Cities fell. A darkness spread, not across the sky, but across the human heart. Civilization dimmed each time it forgot the unseen light. Yet the spark never vanished. Even in the darkest of ages, there were always souls who remembered. Anonymous scribes preserved knowledge in hidden rooms. Old mystics whispered truth to small circles of seekers. Mothers taught their children ancient stories of justice and compassion. The spark survived because light, unlike stone, cannot be conquered, it can only be concealed. And when the world forgot, there were always those who remembered. Human history became a rhythm, a cycle of rising, falling, and rising again. Every time civilization remembered the unseen light, it flourished. Every time it forgot, its foundations cracked, its towers crumbled, and its people turned against one another. But as long as even one heart remembered, civilization had hope. For a single spark is enough to reignite a world. Egypt, Sumer, Babylon, China, Persia, Greece. Rome they rose like mountains across history. Their armies marched. Their architects built, their scholars wrote. Their kings ruled. But beneath the stone and gold lay fragile hearts. Some rulers embodied justice and lifted their people into prosperity. Others drowned in arrogance, ignoring the lessons of the past. For no empire falls from outside until it collapses from within. As civilizations matured, their thinkers began asking deeper questions. What is our purpose? What is truth? What lies beyond the senses? Greek philosophers debated the nature of the soul. Chinese sages taught harmony and virtue. Indian scholars contemplated existence and rebirth. Arab tribes held oral poetry that preserved honor, wisdom, and memory. Across the world, humanity felt the same longing to understand why it existed, and what ultimate truth guided creation. Some retreated into the mountains, seeking silence to hear the whisper of the soul. These were the mystics walking away from the cities and the noise, searching for the light, not in temples or markets, but in the stillness of their own hearts. Their solitude was not an escape. It was a journey inward toward remembrance. Others built libraries, vast sanctuaries of human memory. Alexandria, Nineveh, Pergamon, and later Baghdad's House of Wisdom were places where knowledge was treated like treasure, and scholars from distant lands shared discoveries. Without borders, in these libraries, humanity preserved the reflections of the unseen light written into creation. Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and poetry. Ideas traveled farther than armies. Along the Silk Road, goods moved, but, more importantly, beliefs, philosophies, and sciences crossed continents. From Egypt to Greece, from Greece to Persia, from Persia to India, from India to Arabia, and from Arabia to Europe. Each culture refined what others had discovered. Civilization became a shared inheritance, not the property of one people, but the achievement of all. But with progress came temptation. Some nations worshipped reason and dismissed the spiritual. Others worshipped wealth and ignored mercy. Still others worshipped themselves, believing they had no need for humility or for the unseen light that made existence possible. Pride has toppled more civilizations than war ever did. There were times when the world seemed to dim, when greed suffocated justice, when empires enslaved their own people, when famine and war swept across continents, when the strong devoured the weak. In these ages of shadows, civilization seemed lost. Knowledge was burned. Truth was buried. Hope flickered like a candle in a storm. But, Eben 10, light endured. For in every generation, there were guardians unknown, unseen, yet indispensable. A lone scholar, copying texts by moonlight. A mother teaching her children ancient virtues. A traveler, carrying scrolls through dangerous lands. A poet encoding wisdom in verses that would outlive kings. They carried the spark of civilization through the darkness, protecting it until dawn returned. Humanity eventually learned that the greatest journey was not across oceans or deserts or heavens. It was the journey inward, to confront the ego, to battle desire, to nurture compassion, to seek, to remember truth. Civilization endures, not because of strong walls, but because of strong hearts, and the greatest heart is the one that remembers. And so the story returns to its beginning too, that first human standing beneath an endless sky, feeling the presence of a light they could not see, but could sense in every breath. The true dawn of civilization was not when the first city rose, nor when the first law was written, nor when the first temple was built. It began the moment a human heart recognized its purpose. The heart that knows its origin is mightier than all empires. The mind that remembers is richer than all kings. The soul that seeks light is freer than all armies combined. Humanity's greatest story is not the story of stone but of light. A light that guided early man through fear and darkness. A light that shaped civilizations. A light that whispers even now to every heart. Remember, rise, seek, understand, believe. For civilization does not begin with tools, or stone, or fire, but with remembrance. And the true civilization is reborn every time a heart turns toward the light. Before humanity learned to build cities, before it carved symbols into stone or drew maps across the continents, there was a world awakening beneath its feet. Earth stretched wide like an unwritten page, mountains breathing mist into morning air, rivers carving silver lines through untouched valleys, and the sky expanding like a vast ocean of light. Man stood at the center of a world he had yet to understand. He had no language, yet he sensed meaning. He had no words, yet he felt wonder. The first civilization began not with brick, but with awareness. But awareness was immediately shadowed by fear. Night descended like a curtain, carrying mysteries man could not yet name. Bushes rustled with unseen life. Wolves howled from distant ridges, and shadows stretched into shapes that made his heart tremble. Fear was not his enemy. Fear was his teacher. It taught him to hide, to protect, to survive. The earliest lessons of humanity were written in darkness. One night, driven by desperation and cold, man struck two stones together, a spark. Then another, until a flame rose fragile yet powerful, pushing the darkness away. For the first time, night retreated. Fire became more than warmth. It was protection, illumination, companionship. By firelight, humanity began to think. As fear faded, curiosity bloomed. He watched dawn rise from the same horizon each morning. He followed the moon's cycle as it grew, vanished, and returned. He traced the stars as they circled overhead, silent, guardians of the night sky. Patterns emerged, meaning emerged. Humanity realized that nothing in the world moved without purpose. Behind order, there must be wisdom. Bend wisdom something gretara, guiding light without form. This light was not a figure or image, not a shape that eyes could see. It was the rhythm of existence itself, woven into wind and rivers, seasons and stars, the beating of the heart and the rising of the sun. Humanity felt guided without seeing the guide. This was the first spirituality, not a religion carved in stone, but an instinct in the soul. Then humanity made its first leap forward. It learned to plant seeds and wait. Planting was more than survival. It was trust. It was the discovery of time, of patience, of planning. From seeds sprouting in soft soil came the first hint of civilization. Villages blossomed where rivers flowed, the Nile, the Euphrates and Tigris, the Indus, the Yellow River. Water drew humanity together. Where water lived, life followed. Shelters rose from clay and reeds. Tools formed from stone and bone. Families gathered around shared firelight. And community, the first architecture of civilization, began to form. With community came memory. Mothers taught children rhythms of the stars. Fathers told stories of the hunt. Elders preserved knowledge in the form of songs, chants, and fireside tales. Before man learned to write, he learned to remember, and memory became his first library. Astrabes gray, so did disputes. Who would lead? Who would judge? Who would decide what was right? Rules emerged simple at first. Respect elders. Protect the tribe. Share the hunt. Defend the weak. These early laws were the foundation of justice, the skeleton upon which civilization would one day stand. Humanity built spaces of gathering, first open ground, then huts, and later structures of stone. These were not temples of idols yet. They were places of aware. People looked upward, seeking meaning from the sky, and from the unseen light they sensed guiding the world. Wonder preceded worship. Awe preceded belief. But wonder alone was fragile. As generations passed, some forgot the unseen light and began to worship what they could touch. The sun warmed them, so they worshipped the sun. The moon guided their steps, so they worshipped the moon. Rivers fed their crops, so they worshipped the river. They mistook the signs for the source. Yet the light never abandoned humanity. In every age, among every people, voices rose, gentle at times, powerful at others, calling humanity back to truth. These were messengers, guides, bearers of clarity. The message was simple. Do not worship creation. Seek the one who created. Some hearts trembled in recognition. Others turned away, and upon those choices, civilizations rose and fell. Those who listened to the messengers felt something awaken within them, a memory, older than language, older than fear. It was as though their souls recognized the truth before their minds understood it. But those who turned away began crafting idols from clay, stone, and gold shapes, with eyes that could not see and mouths that could not speak. This was the first fracture between spirit and society. The remembering and the forgetting. Civilization advanced. Small villages merged into towns. Towns grew into cities. Cities became centers of trade, culture, law, and ritual. Stone houses replaced reed huts. Walls rose around settlements for protection. Markets filled streets with color spices, fabrics, pottery, grain. Humanity was no longer wandering. It was building. But every city, no matter how tall its walls, carried within it the memory of its origin, that first spark of awareness. Beneath an open sky, civilization needed structure. And so humanity created roles: leaders, judges, builders, healers, farmers, story keepers. Each role held meaning, each purpose tied to survival. The first architects did not build with steel, but with wisdom. They carved laws into clay tablets. They marked boundaries. They established duties and rights. Order was not merely imposed. It was discovered, echoing the deeper order of the world itself. Before temples became places of idols, they were places of listening. Humanity gathered under wide stone roofs to reflect on the unseen, to contemplate the rhythms of the earth, to ask questions that stirred the heart. Who are we? Why are we here? What lies beyond death? These early sanctuaries were not yet homes of images, but sanctuaries of wonder, echo chambers of longing. But beauty, when misunderstood, can become a trap. The sun's warmth became an idol. The moon's calm glow became a goddess. The mountain's strength became a deity. People began bowing to the symbols and forgetting the source beyond all symbols. And so civilization split again between those who remembered meaning and those who clung to form. Yet in every era, guidance returned. Messengers rose among their people, men of truth, integrity, and profound humility. They reminded humanity that the universe was not a collection of gods, but a tapestry of signs. They taught that true worship was directed not toward what is created, but toward the origin of creation on unseen light, without form, without boundary. Civilization flourished when it embraced this truth.